Welcome to Beyond BattleCreek. Today we are joined with our friend Tommy Klein. Thanks for coming, man, stopping by and being on the pod.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. It's so good to be here and to be a part of the podcast here.
Man, so thankful you carved out some time today and stopped to talk with us. I just want, if you're listening to this, you'll not appreciate the epicness of Tommy's beard at the moment. Like, he's just one of the top beards in the church, I would say, on church staff. It's fantastic.
I'm honored to make a list, the beard list. I don't know. It's a new thing and it's fun.
I have
so
beard in me.
cool.
I just want to confess that to you, and I celebrate that in you, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Great job. I don't know if your wife really appreciates the beard. Is Jen a fan?
So she hasn't said much, but I'm expecting eventually there will be comments that come through.
I love it. Tommy, tell us a little bit about your family, man.
And so my wife Jennifer and I, we've been married for 19 years. It'll be 20 years in January. We're so excited for that, dude. And have two wonderful kids. We have Allie that's 13, so navigating the teenage years, and then Levi is 10. And so we're super blessed to have each other and to have a church here like BattleCreek Church.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is it like? Where is a go-to date night for you and Jen? Like, what's just a solid date night for you guys?
Oh man, this is a tough one. One of the best things that we like is just going for walks, you know? And I think sometimes, we're not so much movie people going to the movies because then you just sit there, right? But probably just walking. And so if we can couple that maybe with a meal, that would be great. But just having that time to visit and be outside.
That's awesome.
Big. Yeah.
Hey, the weather's getting nice.
Yes.
Definitely get some good walk nights. How long have you been in BattleCreek now?
So I've been here on staff for 6 years.
Okay.
And served as a volunteer and just, part of the church for 2 years prior to that. So we've been here about 8, maybe 8.5 years now total.
And tell us about your current role here at BattleCreek.
Yeah, so my current role is I'm the kids director. So I get to lead an awesome team that provides ministry for birth through 5th grade. And so that's our preschool and elementary teams.
Yeah.
And just it's just amazing. It keeps me young, makes me feel young. And it's just a lot of fun being there with the kids.
Yeah, we have a great kids ministry here at BattleCreek.
Absolutely, they do a fantastic job. I'm just
cataloging all the staff that we have. I'm just thinking through all the amount of fun that they have, like the energy, the vibrancy, the creativity. A plus stud team.
Yes,
I would say.
Yes, it's fun when we sit down and we're dreaming, hey, what's coming next, and just putting things together. It's a blast.
There's rumors that would say your staff meetings with all the kids' teams are pretty rowdy and fun, and there's a lot of banter there, a lot of good stuff that goes on.
There is, and there's some sarcasm. So
yeah.
I mean, that always is a good place and a healthy amount there. But one of the things I'm so excited about, if I may, I'm just gonna kind of give a plug to kids ministry.
Let's go. Yeah.
Is hey, this summer of 2021, Summer of Slime. Begins June 20th and on through August.
Summer of Slime
every Sunday in BattleCreek Kids.
Okay. You want to know what that's about? Make sure you check out Sundays at your campus.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, thanks for the plug, Tom.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to get to that, but that's that's fantastic. I'm really interested to hear about your journey to our church. Like 2 years as a volunteer. Like tell us, like how did God lead you on staff? How did you get to BattleCreek?
Yeah. So our family, we moved back to the Tulsa area about 10 years ago. And the whole purpose of that was to help a friend in ministry and just help their church. And in the course of that, I had to get a full-time job. The church couldn't support me on staff there. We'd moved from Louisiana, which is where Jennifer, my wife, is from.
Sure.
And so we came here. We were helping with the church. My full-time job was actually a hospice chaplain. And so I was doing that. During the day, helping the church out, and on Sundays and weekends, and helping bring things together. And then eventually, through that partnership, that church merged with another church, and God opened the door and just say, hey, it's the first time in marriage. I think Jen and I had been married for 12 years, and we had never just attended church. I'd always been on staff somewhere, and so we visited a few churches, and of course, BattleCreek was a place that we landed with our family. We loved it. It's amazing. One of the things that drew us here was that our kids loved it.
Yeah.
And so we attended BattleCreek at the Broken Arrow campus for probably 6-8 months, and then the downtown campus opened, and so we went there. And a majority of my ministry prior to that was as a worship pastor, so I helped with worship at downtown. And then when Ryan Crawford, amazing worship pastor there at the downtown campus, came on, we moved into kids, helped out with kids worship, and then that eventually led to being asked to come on staff as a kids minister. And so my wife jokes with me, I moved from being a hospice chaplain to kids ministry. And so that like overnight switch was just like, that. And, but it all comes down to the family. And that's what hospice chaplaincy is all about, is ministering to the family. And that's what we do in kids ministry, is minister to the families and help equip the families for, raising kids and be alongside of them.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you span the spectrum there of helping people through death and what that looks like, and now help people enter new life.
Absolutely.
And not just new life through babies, but new life in Christ. Like, listen, if you want to hear the story of salvation, it comes out of the kids ministry. Like, that's one of the things I'm most proud of at our church, is the new life that we get to celebrate every week at every campus. Like, we're celebrating baptisms. I mean, one of the things I'm so proud of right now is that every campus is baptizing children. And we are all in on Next Gen at our church. If there's anything that you say, what is BattleCreek about? Next Gen Ministries, for sure. Like, we put a lot of resources there. It's a big priority for us. And so, man, I'm just so excited to see what God is doing, in the middle of kids ministry.
Yeah, absolutely. As am I. And I'm so thankful for a pastor like Pastor Alex, who puts not only his thoughts and his ideas towards Next Gen, but he also puts his energy and his love towards Next Gen as well. And it means a lot.
Yeah. So you start out in kids ministry.
Yeah. So we started at Midtown. So after, being a volunteer in kids ministry at downtown, moved to Midtown and served as the elementary pastor there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then that developed into an invitation to move to the central office and lead the kids team. And so it's fun, and it's a balance of teaching and developing and connecting with our dream team leaders, with parents, and it's the best thing I could ever dream of. The most fun I've ever had in ministry has been serving here at BattleCreek Kids.
If someone is new to a multi-site church, kind of given a brief job description of what you do on a week-to-week basis for all of kids ministry.
So all of kids ministry, I'd say help provide a direction and a little bit of branding. And part of that's through curriculum. We provide a curriculum that all 6 campuses are doing the same curriculum on Sunday mornings. So if
phenomenal curriculum, by the way,
man, it's
awesome,
gospel centered. It's all about Jesus, and I love it as well. And but it provides that pathway. So if someone were to visit our downtown campus one week and our Midtown campus the next week, they're going to be right in line with the scope and sequence of what is BattleCreek Kids and navigating through the Bible and our curriculum. You mentioned how great it is. I love it because in a 3-year period, we take our kids from birth all the way through 5th grade through the Bible every 3 years. And so if you look at that, we have, 10, 11, 12 years with kids from birth, through passing on into junior high. That's, 3, almost 4 times through the Bible of learning and experiencing it and finding out how do we live that out.
Yeah. The curriculum is awesome. I know that I have 3 kids, and 2 of them are in elementary ministry. And so they're coming home, and our Sunday lunch is always about, hey, what did you learn today? And each one can spout off the Bible story and the application of what it means to their life. They don't always get the scripture right, but hey, I mean, they're 9 and 7, right? So they're not always gonna get it perfect, but they it's funny when they mix up stories, and hey, that was last week and this week. Let's go back. But we do a phenomenal job. I know what else you do a great job of, Tommy, is from what I've heard is just coaching and leadership to the teams, right? A lot of people look to you for that, hey, vision, leadership, development, and you spend a lot of time with people throughout the week, right?
Yes, I do. And honestly, that's what keeps me going and fueling, is being with people and helping people. And so, that's a big part of my week.
We're coming out of, and I pray we are, it seems like it, of a season of just being in the middle of a pandemic. And, for kids ministry, it is so effective when it's face-to-face and in person, and where the kids can interact with you. What was it like doing children's ministry or kids ministry in the middle of that really weird season?
Yeah, it was it was different. I will give you that. Yeah. And, it's especially during, the shutdown months when we did our kids' night live episodes. And that was, different because we're planning through Zoom and putting things together. Then we come up and have a couple of run throughs, and and then are able to be on Facebook, and when kids are watching and seeing comments coming through for their parents, and it was just that part was fun, completely different. But you missed that connection point. You really missed that ability, like you said, that face to face, and so there were definitely some challenges there. But I think one of the most amazing things that we saw come out of that time was that we saw and have heard so many reports of parents who would watch even the Sunday sermons with their parents, and then they had Kids Night Live, during the week, and then back to the sermons, and through that, I really saw a fostering of the parents as that lead discipler. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to just say, oh, well, it's Sunday, kids can go to church and they're going to get, their Jesus fuel and then go from there. But our desire as BattleCreek kids is that the parents are that lead discipler. And hearing you talk of those discussions you have at lunch after church with your kids, I mean, that's just a great picture of what we desire to see in all of our BattleCreek families, is those discussions and talk through memorizing scripture together, reading together. And so we saw that birth through that time together where they weren't coming to church.
Right.
And the most amazing thing coming out of that was that we had people that would come to church for the first time. It might have been a month after we'd reopened Sunday services, or 2 months. But the first time they came back was they were calling saying, hey, we want to set up an alpha appointment. And an alpha appointment is when one of our kids' ministers will sit down with a kid and their parents, because the kid has voiced that they want to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
That salvation desire is there. And so often it's something, especially through the pandemic, that it happened at home, that a parent was able to lead their child to faith. And it does happen here. We have large events where we share the gospel here at church as well. But I loved seeing that opportunity where parents were able to lead their children to faith in Jesus Christ, and then brought them. And we had those alpha appointments where we just talked through, hey, what's the next best step for your child and your family with this decision. And that came just right out of, lockdown. We had phone calls, maybe some Zoom meetings here or there with our kids and families. But then once things opened back up, it was parents bringing their kids in saying, hey, my child made a decision for Christ.
Yeah.
And that's just what keeps my heart going every day, is when we see kids coming to Christ and the truth that is the love of God, and placing their faith in Him.
Whenever the world slowed down, God didn't.
That's right.
God had such a perfect plan for these kids to come to know Him in a more real way,
absolutely,
in a personal way during that. I heard a story during that time where, kids would be watching with their parents on a Sunday morning, watching the service. But when pastor would start speaking, the kid's attention span for an adult isn't really that long. So they would go and they would go play. And mom heard something in the bedroom, so she went back there, and they're having their own church service. They're doing BattleCreek Kids in their bedroom. And she said, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm Miss Katie. Who's Miss Katie? She's my BattleCreek Kids teacher. And so they had their own music session, theater time, Bible study. And so for me, I was just like, when I heard that, that's the impact that kids ministry gets to have on kids, that they now play that, they want that to be a part of that. So I thought that was a really cool story. And I'm so glad we're coming out of that season. That was challenging and tough, but I think now we're seeing some things happen currently that God is doing that we can't take credit for. I mean, somebody asked Pastor the other day, are you guys in revival? Like, I don't know how you define revival, but God is doing something special here at BattleCreek Church. What are some stories that you hear of just life change and things that are happening?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jeff. I would say the answer to that is that the waters are being stirred. We're seeing kids and families get baptized.
Yeah.
At Owasso, you have, 2 sisters that got baptized. Here at BA, a whole family that through Advanced Track, we see salvation, we see baptism, and it's those moments that you see, a child coming up out of the water and just embracing, hey, this is all that God has called me to be and to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the greatest thing. Each and every week, as part of our curriculum, which you've already touched on, but we have what we call the Christ connection. And I think that's part of what we've seen, because we would even teach that back in lockdown during Kids Night Live, but we teach it every Sunday morning as well. And so we can take an Old Testament story through our curriculum and develop and help make a Christ connection. Okay, so how does this then reflect to God's plan for us? And most recently, we were talking through, how did God plan to correct what sin had broken. And, the answer was Jesus, right? And so that was that connecting piece. And so seeing that kids are grasping that and getting that and understanding that, and not just for themselves, but they're telling others, they're telling their friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you guys did during the Easter season. Such a tangible way to experience the story of the cross, on a Sunday morning was so impactful for the kids that I heard, but especially my own. They love that, to touch, to feel, to hear, to see. Was awesome. So great job to you and your team. As we're looking ahead, we're about to enter one of the best seasons of kids ministry as well. Talk about some things that you're excited about that's coming up.
Oh, that's an easy one. That's camp.
Yeah,
we're just over a week away from camp, and I'm so excited. I mean, camp for me personally is huge. I love camp. Went to camp as a kid into junior high as a 13-year-old is when I first felt really the call of God in my life for ministry.
Wow.
Of course, as a 9-year-old is when I gave my life to Christ and had that salvation moment. But living that out as a 13-year-old at camp. And so camp's special. And it's special for our kindergartners through 5th grade that'll get to experience camp, like I said, just a little over a week. And we get to partner with WinShape Camps for Communities,
awesome,
which is going to be fantastic.
Awesome camp,
they bring a great team in that partners with our kid staff and all of our volunteers to make these kids feel loved, valued, and have a blast as they learn about Jesus, make relationships with each other, and ultimately grow in their relationship with God.
What are some things that you're hearing from kids about what they're excited about for camp?
Yeah, I think one of the things is we get so many questions. What's it going to be like? Because, this is a new play for us this year of having a day camp. But the most exciting piece of that is that we get to tell them, hey, it's going to be like nothing you've ever experienced. And it's going to be so much fun that you're going to have to go home and actually sleep at home so you have enough energy to come back the next day to do it all over again. And so that's always fun to encourage them there. But we've seen our reach, and I think a lot of this is provided by our setup and our plan of how many people that are not connected with BattleCreek Church are connecting with camp. And I love it. I love looking through, our families who are connected, but then, hey, we don't know this family, and we don't know this family and this family. And it's amazing to see that the reach is going beyond just BattleCreek families. And of course, that's our heart, is we want, all of our community to hear about the love of Jesus.
Listen, there's a lot packed into that Monday through Friday camp, and it's an 8 to 5 camp, but you get like 2 months worth of kids ministry in that 1 week.
That's right.
And so if you have a child in your life that you know of, a niece, a grandchild, you've got a friend down the street, invite them to come to camp, especially when you know it's going to be about Jesus, right? It's going to be infused with Jesus through relationships, through the word, through fun. And there's a lot of prayer that's gone into this camp, a lot of intentionality about that. What are some things about camp that you're super excited about?
I mentioned the partnership with WinShape. I mean, they're just such a super organization. I mean, they're affiliated with Chick-fil-A. They're the ministry arm of Chick-fil-A. And so you think of all the excellence that Chick-fil-A brings. That's what WinShape brings
excellence
as well.
In chicken nuggets and sandwiches. Yeah,
that's right. And so they're putting that excellence into camp.
For sure.
So that's going to be a ton of fun. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just the kids being back together. We didn't have camp last year. And like I said, that's one of my favorite parts of the year is camp. And so bringing kids back together, we're going to be shouting, we're going to be singing, we're going to be dancing, we're going to be learning about Jesus. And so I'm definitely excited about that. And just hearing the kids that camp is coming. When is it? And it's just over a week away, so we're almost there.
Can't wait for the halls of Broken Arrow to be filled with laughter and giggles and screams and excitement and some rowdiness. We're ready for it. Like, that's going to be an awesome week. And so if someone wants to sign up a child in their life, whether their own or someone that they know, what can they do? What's the next step? Yeah,
well, my first encouragement is don't wait.
Hurry.
Yes. We've got about 30 spots left for each week. And so you can visit battlecreekchurch.com/kidscamp and go there. There's a link to sign your kid up there. You can choose one of the 2 weeks. Remember, they're 2 of the exact same week. It just allows us to reach more kids. So 2 back-to-back weeks. Yeah.
Pick one.
And sign up, register. And we also have a way, if you need financial assistance, you can email kids@battlecreekchurch.com.
Yeah.
And we have ways to assist with that as well, because we don't want finances to hinder any child from coming to camp. And we also don't want to be a burden on a family as well. we want everybody to experience camp.
Absolutely. And as a church body, what can we do to come alongside and support what God is doing the next couple of weeks at camp?
Well, the first thing, and it sounds so simple, but it's so real, Jeff, is just to be praying for camp.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to be on your knees for the kids who will be here, the volunteers who will be here, our staff that will be serving those 2 weeks. The WinShape team is made up of 25 college students that come in and just infuse energy. And so just be praying for those 4 groups. Once again, that's the kids. So most importantly, that the Lord will begin working in their hearts.
Sure.
But even our volunteers, that God will move in their hearts and their lives as well. Because, just because you're serving in kids ministry doesn't mean you're just there to do.
That's right.
You're there to learn. You're there to grow.
God's got a message for you.
Absolutely. And so be praying for our volunteers. Once again, our staff as we navigate those 2 weeks. Once again, this is a new experience for us, but so excited. And ultimately that WinShape team of 25 students that will be coming in to lead this.
Yeah. So if someone wants to get involved and help, what do they do? Yeah,
on that very same website we just shared, the battlecreekchurch.com/kidscamp. There's also a link to sign up to volunteer.
Okay.
And you can sign up and volunteer. You can, as you go through that link and enter in all your information, you can choose, hey, I can do the Friday of the first week, and I can do Monday, Tuesday of the second week, or I can do a half day on these days and, the afternoons on this day. So it's so flexible, and it allows us to then kind of play that chess game of getting everybody in the right spot, but it allows people to navigate around their work schedule or the errands or whatever they have to do, but to be able to come and be a part and experience all that is kids camp.
Yeah, and listen, camp isn't just something that we do for fun. We believe in camp here at BattleCreek Church.
Yes.
It is a part of our strategy to reach kids, and we've seen God use it. We're just being faithful to follow Him, be obedient. And so what Tommy's saying, everybody can serve during camp. You can pray, right?
Yes.
Be on your knees for protection and for the gospel to be saturated in these kids' hearts, that they would come to know Him. And then secondly, whenever you're available that week, come serve. 8 to 5, we put pieces together. We'll make a week for you that can work. So reach out and let us know how you can be a part of camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Tommy, before we let you get out of here, a little lightning round of questions to get to know you a little bit better. Couple options here, or they may be open-ended. Don't think too much about them. Just give us the first answer that comes to mind. Number 1, your childhood cartoon hero.
Ooh, Superman.
Good one. Favorite chicken fingers in town.
Oh, gosh. I'm not a chicken finger guy so much. I had to say Cane's probably.
Cane's.
Yeah.
Cane's solid. Good sauce there. If you had a paid vacation anywhere, all expenses paid, where would you and Jen both go?
Beach, 100%.
Anywhere on the beach.
Anywhere, yeah. Just give me a seat on the beach.
Are you coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Both. Am I allowed to say that? My wife, she just fell over, right?
You did. You said both.
What's worse, I would probably say laundry.
What are you going to go home and help with tonight?
Both.
Yeah, great answer. Great answer, Tommy. Would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Ocean.
What's comfort food for you?
Cookies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's your go-to cookie?
Oh, probably just a good chocolate chip, but really any cookie. If it's a cookie, I'll eat it.
Let's go. All right, last question. You're on a deserted island. Food and water are provided. What do you bring with you?
Wow. I don't know if I can give a quick answer to that. I guess the church podcast answer would be my Bible, right?
The Bible.
Yeah.
You're a good kids pastor there, Tommy Hart. Listen, Tommy, from Louisiana back to Tulsa, downtown, midtown to Broken Arrow. We're so thankful you're here at BattleCreek Church. We are better because you're leading our kids ministry, and we're proud of what God is doing in you and through you. Look forward to seeing how He's going to advance the gospel through our kids ministry here. So love you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey.
Appreciate all that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
Have a great day.
Great. You too.
Thank you so much for listening to Beyond Battle Creek. This show is produced by BattleCreek Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. To keep up with everything going on in the church, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you enjoy this show, be sure to share it. We'll see you next episode.